Hey now, long-haired Luke, cash flow Carl from the short-term shop, and today we're talking about roofs. I love roofs, man. It's nice to have a roof over your head. It's nice to have a nice roof over your head. So we'll talk a bit about the differences in types of material, how long they last, and what to look for when purchasing a new property. In the markets where we operate, which is in the Southeast, we are mostly seeing asphalt and metal. Furthermore, we can break it down to types of asphalt. There's a 3-tab roof, which is it's exactly what it sounds like. It's got 3 tabs on it, and you put a nail and you move on to the next one. And 3-tab is going to be probably a lesser expensive option for a roof material. And we generally, again, I'm not a licensed roofer here, but if I had to put a time frame on it, maybe 15, 20 years, give or take, for a 3-tab. 3-tab is very flat, kind of boring looking, just a regular old roof. Nothing fancy about it. And then there is what's called architectural asphalt shingles. And those are kind of, they look a bit more like the shaker, as a matter of fact, but they are made out of asphalt. And they are a little bit more 3D. They have some dimension to them, and very easy to spot 3-tab versus asphalt. And asphalt is better looking. It is more expensive to put on, and it would last longer. So those two things, they kind of go hand in hand. I would say maybe 20 to maybe even 25 years out of an architectural asphalt shingle roof, and they're very good looking. You can pick different colors, etc. And then, of course, in our markets, we also oftentimes see metal roofing. Metal will be the most expensive to put on in most cases, and it will also last the longest in most cases. Some roofers might even tell you 35 years, maybe even 40 years, depending on the roofer you are speaking to. So at this point, it just kind of depends on what you're looking for when it comes time to put a new roof. Which of those three works best for you? I personally like a metal roof. I think they look cooler, and I like the way they sound in the rain because they are, you can hear the rain hitting the roof, especially in a cabin or in a beach house where there may not be an attic. So it's just roof and ceiling, nothing in between. So I like that. Metal roof is more expensive, of course, so it will last longer. That's great. I like that it'll last longer. It would cost me more up front to do that, and I also like the way it looks. You can get different colors, of course. I like the copper look, and any color really is fine. Depends on, I generally leave that to the boss, my wife, but you can choose different color metal as well. So if you're buying a property, let's say you don't need to put a new roof on right now, or at least you don't know if you need to put a new roof on. How do you know what kind of roof it has? Well, look at it. Just look at it and learn. Google 3-tab roof. Look at the pictures of your roof on Zillow or whatever, wherever it may be, the MLS, and see if that's what you have. Or architectural. Do you have architectural? And then you can compare these numbers to the age of the property and see whether you think or not. It's going to be pretty easy to tell whether you think that it is the original roof or not. For instance, if the house was built in, let's say, 2000, you got a 21-year-old roof. If it's a 3-tab, it's probably going to look bad if it's original. If you got a 3-tab roof on a 21-year-old house that doesn't look bad, it's probably been replaced at some point. Same with architectural. If you've got a 21-year-old house that's got a architectural roof on it, and you're probably going to be seeing some areas of wear, maybe discoloration, maybe one shingle is missing or it looks like it has been replaced or repaired. Then you know that this is probably an original roof, and you might need to start kind of planning ahead to replace it at some point. Same with metal roof. If it's a 25, 30, 40-year-old roof and it's looking a little worn out on metal, then you might want to take into consideration that it might be original to the house based on the year the house was built, which is, again, very easy Google search. And then, decide, hey, okay, I need to be ready to replace this thing here in the near future. The good news is this new roof is amazing. You got to get over that limiting belief that putting in, oh my God, I can't afford this new roof. It's just going to set me back. I can't deal with this. I'd rather put that money on a down payment towards the next property, whatever it may be. That's a great mindset. The next property is a great mindset, but you've got to take care of this property. We're talking about generational wealth, and a new roof is a great way to make sure this property is going to make its way to your grandchildren. And it will get better rents. Nobody wants to rent a house with a roof that's falling apart or leaking or has stains on the ceiling on the interior because it was leaking, etc. So, kind of base it on how old the house is versus what type of roof it has as to when you're going to need to replace this roof. Let's talk price tags. This is going to be vastly different depending on the size of the property. That's the biggest thing. And if it's 2 stories, so if you've got 3,000 square foot of 1-story brick ranch, that's going to be more roof than a 2-story 3,000 square foot house, because you're putting, it's instead of like this, it's like this. So it's half as much roof. Most of the time it's going to be, maybe a third or a half as much roof. So, that's something to take into consideration. Square footage of the house is not always going to translate to the size of the roof because of the levels, right? So, but just rule of thumb, I would say somewhere around, a regular 2,000 square foot house, probably somewhere for architectural roof, maybe $4-5 grand. Of course, today's rates, lumber is very high at the moment, so maybe $6 grand. I just put on a metal roof and it was $9 grand. It was a large, higher end metal, is a bronze, a copper roof, and that cost me a little bit extra just to have that kind of a cool color on it, but I thought it was worth it. So that was about $9 grand for a higher end metal roof. Could be all the way down to in the 4,000 range for a brand new 3-tab roof, maybe 5,000, 6,000 for an architectural, and again maybe 7 to 8, maybe even 9,000 for a metal roof. Again, greatly depends on the size, obviously, of the roof and how many gables, etc. You have, dormers, whatever it may be. That stuff gets more complicated, so it's going to get a little more expensive. But that's roofs in a nutshell. I love them. Do not let it bother you. Don't let it get the best of you. It is a wonderful, fantastic thing to put a new roof on a property, and it should make you very proud to do so when it comes time. And that means that you are, of course, providing a better property and making the world a better place. And I hope you enjoyed the chat today. And feel free to join us, of course, anytime at theshorttermshop.com.